My name is Tom Reynolds. I buried my son 20 years ago. Or at least, I thought I did. It was November 13th, 2005. A night I'll never forget as long as I live. Kissed cold rain pounding the windshield like bullets. I was home in our little house in Renton, Washington, just outside Seattle, grilling ribeyes on the back porch and cozy, waiting for Connor to get home from football practice. We was 17, a senior at a Renton High quarterback, college scouts already sniffing around. My kid had an arm like a cannon. He called me at 6:15 p.m. And hey, Dad, practice ran late. Coach had us running wind sprints till we dropped. I'm on I-5 now. The traffic's murder in this rain. Be home in 45.
Save me a steak, extra rare.
I laughed. You got it, champ. Drive careful. Roads are slick. Always do. Love you. Dad, love you too. Son, that was the last conversation we ever had. At 7:45 p.m., 2 Washington State Patrol troopers knocked on my door. Their hats were dripping. Their faces were stone. There'd been a 40-car pile-up on Interstate 5 near Federal Way. Black ice. The semi-hauling logs lost control. Jackknifed across all lanes. The cars slammed into each other like dominoes. Connor's 1990 Ford F-150 was near the front. Crushed flat. They said he didn't suffer. I died instantly. I drove to Harborview Medical Center in a fog.
Don't remember the drive.
Don't remember parking. Just remember walking into that cold room and seeing a body bag on a gurney. They unzipped it. The face was gone, unrecognizable, but the build was right. 6'1", athletic, the hair dark brown, same as Connor's. And on the left hand, the class ring I'd bought him for his 16th birthday. Renton Indians, 2006, I nodded. Couldn't speak, it was him. The high school football team came in full uniform. His coach gave the eulogy, told stories about Connor's fourth-quarter comebacks, his leadership, how he'd stay after practice to help younger kids with their throws. I stood by the casket and didn't cry. Not in public. I waited until everyone left. Then I fell apart on the wet grass. After that, life ended. I sold the house 6 months later. Couldn't walk past his room. His cleats still muddy by the door. His Mariners jersey hanging in the closet. His glove on the dresser, still oiled, still ready for the next game. I moved into a one-bedroom apartment in downtown Seattle. I took a job as night security at a warehouse. Didn't have to talk to anyone. Connor's mom, Laura, had left when he was 4. Couldn't handle being an army wife when I deployed to Iraq in '91. It was just me and him after that. Fishing trips to Montana every summer. Teaching him to drive stick in that old Ford. Late night talks about girls. College the future. He wanted to play ball at University of Washington. Maybe go pro. Or join the Marines like his old man. All gone. I kept his phone number active. Paid the bill every month, $29.99 for 20 years. Just to see Connor in my contacts. Just to pretend. Every Sunday, rain or shine. I drove to Lakeview Cemetery. Sat by a stone, talked to him. Told him about the Mariners season, about work. About how quiet the apartment was without his music blasting. Told him I was proud. Told him I missed him. People said I should move on, date, travel. I tried therapy once. The counselor said I was stuck in complicated grief. I never went back. I got tattoos. One on my forearm, Connor's jersey number, 12. One on my chest, his initials inside a baseball. I lived, but I didn't live. Then, on October 18th, 2025, 20 years later, my phone buzzed while I was having coffee on my balcony, watching the ferries cross Puget Sound. A text from Connor's number. Dad, this is going to sound completely insane, but I think I'm Connor. Your son. I dropped the mug. It shattered on the concrete. Another text came immediately. I've been living in Montana under the name Cole Bennett. I woke up in a hospital in Billings after the crash with no memory. They said I was thrown from the truck. I've been searching for years. Found an old news article about the I-5 pileup. It mentioned Tom Reynolds losing his only son, Connor. There was a photo of you holding my glove at the funeral. My hands were shaking so bad I could barely reply. I typed, "Who is this?" The response came fast. "It's me, Dad, I swear." I remember the glove. You oiled it every spring. I remember you teaching me to throw a curveball in the backyard. I remember the fishing trip to Yellowstone when I caught that 14-inch cutthroat. And you took 1,000,000 pictures. I called the number. A man answered, voice deeper than I remembered, rougher, but, "Hey, familia, hello? This is Tom Reynolds." Long silence. Then a choke sound, "Dad, it's really you." We talked for 5 hours, until my phone died and I had to plug it in. His name now was Cole Bennett. 37 years old, lived outside Bozeman, Montana, in a cabin he'd built himself. Never married, no kids. He remembered nothing before waking up in St. Vincent Healthcare in Billings. Late November 2005, broken ribs, punctured lung, severe traumatic brain injury, amnesia, complete retrograde. Paramedics found him in a ditch 100 yards from the wreckage, unconscious, no wallet, no phone. The truck was registered to me, but the body inside was burned beyond recognition. Because I identified it based on the ring and build, no one ever connected the surviving man in Montana to the dead boy in Washington. I crossed the porch in 2 steps and grabbed him. Held him like he was 16 again. He hugged me back, hard. His shoulders shook. We didn't speak for a long time. Finally pulled apart, wiped our eyes. "Come in," he said, voice thick. The inside was exactly what I'd imagined Connor would build. Hand-hewn beams, stone fireplace, mounted trout on the walls, baseball glove on the mantel, newer, but same model. We sat at his kitchen table, drank coffee, talked until sunrise. He showed me his life, his workshop, full of half-finished furniture, beautiful stuff, tables, chairs, a rocking chair he was making for no one in particular, his fly-tying bench, hundreds of flies in boxes, photos on the fridge, him with hunting buddies, him holding up a 30-inch brown trout, him in Carhartts on job sites. I showed him the glove, the original, still in perfect condition. I'd oiled it every year. When he took it, his hands shook. "I remember," he whispered. "You taught me to break it in with saddle soap and a baseball in the pocket, wrapped with rubber bands." He slipped it on, flexed his fingers. Perfect fit, we cried again. The next week, we drove to Seattle together. 16 hours back, I took him everywhere. The old house, new family lives there now, but we parked outside and looked. The high school football field. Friday night lights still shining. We stood on the sideline where he used to warm up. The hardware store where he worked weekends. The cemetery. His stone stood there. Connor James Reynolds. Beloved son, 1988-2005. He touched the letters. "I used to dream about this place," he said quietly. Didn't know why it hurt so much. I put my arm around his shoulders. "You were here, in my heart, every day." We had the stone changed the next month. Now it reads, "In memory of the 20 years we were lost to each other." We got the DNA test, official. 99.99999% match. No doubt Connor moved to Seattle 8 months later. Sold his cabin, bought a house 15 minutes from my apartment, got a job with a high-end custom builder. We fish together now. Every summer we go back to Montana, stay in a rental on the Madison, cast dry flies at dawn, drink beer around the fire at night. He coaches Little League on weekends, teaches kids to throw curveballs. I sit in the stands and watch. Some nights we just sit on my balcony, watch the city lights, talk about the years we missed, about the men we became without each other, about how strange it is that he lived 30 minutes from rivers we used to fish together, without knowing. Last weekend was what would have been his 38th birthday. We drove to Montana, stayed at the same campground we used when he was 12, built a fire, grilled steaks extra rare, played catch with the old glove until our arms hurt. When the stars came out, he looked at me across the fire. "I missed this," he said. "I missed you, even when I didn't know who you were." I couldn't speak for a minute. Then I said, "I never stopped looking for you, son, not for one day." He nodded, eyes wet. "I know. Dad, I know. Sometimes I wake up at night and think it was all a dream. Then I check my phone, see his texts, see photos of fish he caught, furniture he built, kids he coached, and I know it's real. I buried my son 20 years ago, mourned him every day, carried his glove like a piece of my heart. Then one day a text came from a dead number, and he came home, not the boy I lost, but the man he became, stronger, quieter, wiser. Still my son. We'll never get those 20 years back. But we have now. We have tomorrow. We have each other. Sometimes, when the sun sets over Puget Sound or the Madison River, and I see him standing there tall, beard catching the light, glove on his hand, I think maybe miracles do happen. Maybe love is stronger than death. He still has gaps, whole chunks of childhood gone. Doesn't remember his mom leaving. Doesn't remember his first home run. Doesn't remember the day I taught him to drive. But pieces come back sometimes, a smell, a song, the feel of a baseball in his hand. And when they do, he tells me, "We're making new memories now." My boy. My Connor. And this time I'm never letting go.